Hey y'all, my name's Summer Coble, and today I'm going to be doing a biographical retrospective of Frida Kahlo. She was a Mexican American painter who was born on July 6, 1907 in Mexico City. She was born in a house called the Blue Home, which was owned by her parents at the time. She was the third of four daughters, so she wasn't the youngest, but she was the second youngest. She had a very difficult life. She faced a lot of problems that were way out of her control and way out of her parents' control. They were just unfortunate events that she definitely took the best and made the best of and gave herself the best situation possible given what the deck of cards or the hand of cards she was dealt, if that makes sense. So first, at age 6, Frida was diagnosed with polio. This caused her right leg to be shorter than her left leg, giving her a little bit of a limp. This led to her being bullied a lot during school. So that was something that was just at such a young age, she definitely couldn't control it and caused her to have a little bit of emotional damage just from kids bullying her, that kind of thing. At age 18, on September 17th, 1925, Frida Kahlo was involved in a bus accident when a streetcar crashed into the bus that she was riding on. This left her with many injuries, including several fractured bones and really bad spinal cord injuries. We'll learn a little more about those later on and about how she chose to incorporate that into her painting, but that just goes to show how she really took the best of what she was dealt and tried to always be, she might not have always been a positive person mentally, but she tried to express and tried to make the best out of what she had. After the spinal cord injury, she was left immobile, and that's when her painting really took off. That's when she began to paint. Being a naturally good artist, she met many other artists who she interacted with and became very close friends with. One of them, who was a muralist, she actually fell in love with and married. He was named Diego Rivera. They got married in 1929. So she wasn't very old when they got married compared to today's standards, but that's how it was back then. Just a short year later, in 1930, Frida Kahlo suffered a miscarriage. That's also another one of the things depicted in her paintings. Her husband, Diego, actually very much encouraged her to paint scenes that depicted her real life events, so that's kind of something that led to many of the paintings she did. If you really dive into the meaning behind them, then you'll learn a lot about her and the things that she struggled with. Her husband thought this was just a good way for her to express her emotions rather than keeping them all balled up inside, and which I agree that it was. So the miscarriage was another one of the things that she painted about. Moving on through her life story, in 1939, she actually divorced Diego Rivera, but remarried him just a short year later in 1940, so I guess they kind of figured out a way to work it out, if that makes sense. On the rest of her life, she lived as a pretty successful painter. She has many, many works of art. Most of them are in the surrealistic painting style. She used a lot of oil on canvas and painted things that were very interesting. To her, they were not dreams, but realities of her own mind. And that's what she said about most all of her paintings, was that she wasn't painting imaginary things that she came up with in her mind or created or anything like that, but to her, everything she painted was a reality. So the paintings showing her spinal cord injuries and her miscarriage and things like that were things that she thought were reality. They were reality to her. And to us, it might seem like surrealistic and imaginary the way she depicted them, but to her, that's how it really felt. And it's just an analogy to explain to the viewer of how she was feeling, which is what was encouraged by her husband Diego during the time. So, unfortunately, Frida Kahlo died at a pretty young age. She died on July 13th, 1954. She actually died where she was born, at the Blue House. So that's a pretty interesting fact that she was born and passed away in the same place. But outside of that, you can tell based on how many paintings she produced and how many of them actually became very popular, and especially in the surrealistic world of artwork. She definitely lived a successful life, although it was cut short for many reasons that were way out of her control, mainly being the health conditions that she suffered from. But she definitely left a lasting impact on art and many of the different styles of art. So I would say she lived a very successful life. Thank you.